Almonds have earned a worldwide reputation as one of the most powerful superfoods in existence. Health magazines, renowned doctors, and digital influencers all seem to insistently repeat the same idea: eat a handful of almonds daily and you'll have guaranteed longevity. But is this really true for those over 60? The answer may surprise you completely. There's a huge difference between a healthy food and a properly used food. And when we're talking about aging, a vulnerable heart, fragile bones, and a delicate memory, small mistakes when consuming almonds can have greater consequences than you might imagine. This article isn't meant to demonize the food, but to reveal the other side that almost no one discusses openly. Behind the crunchy shell and pleasant flavor, there are hidden risks that can turn almonds into villains for your health. Many older adults, believing they are taking care of their bodies, end up overworking already sensitive organs like the liver, kidneys, and pancreas. The result? Silent discomfort, altered laboratory test results, and even an increased risk of serious chronic diseases. Imagine the following scenario: a 68-year-old woman decides to replace all her afternoon snacks with a generous handful of almonds. Without even realizing it, she begins to gain weight progressively, feels her digestion slowing down, and experiences frequent bloating. All this while believing she's improving her health. This is just a simple example of what happens when information is biased. What seems like a solution can turn into a silent trap. Scientific research shows that almonds offer powerful antioxidants, healthy fats, and even heart protective effects. However, the same studies that highlight these benefits also warn of critical points: excess calories, the impact on blood sugar levels in certain cooking methods, and compounds that can harm the body when stored improperly. The secret lies in balance and proper knowledge. The big problem is that most people don't know the 5 most dangerous mistakes related to almond consumption. And that's exactly what we'll reveal here, in detail, based on science translated into everyday life. Each mistake may seem small, almost irrelevant in isolation, but together they pose real risks for those seeking to age with full vitality. Get ready, because this content will open your eyes. You'll understand why so many believe they're doing the right thing, but in practice, they're moving away from the health they desire. And when you discover the first mistake, seemingly harmless but directly linked to the heart, you'll realize you'll never look at almonds the same way again. If this topic has piqued your curiosity and you want more people to have access to this truth, hit the like button immediately. This way, you'll not only help spread this vital information, but also ensure the algorithm delivers more content that protects your health and the health of those you deeply love. Who hasn't felt the irresistible temptation of grabbing a bag of roasted, golden, and crunchy almonds, believing they're making a healthy choice? Their inviting aroma and crunchy texture are easily deceiving, but science reveals a truth that can be frightening. When roasted at high temperatures, almonds undergo chemical transformations that diminish their benefits and substantially increase their risks. What happens during roasting? The healthy fats present in almonds, especially the monounsaturated fatty acids known to protect the heart, undergo an oxidation process. This oxidation generates inflammatory compounds that, instead of protecting, can damage artery walls, contributing to plaque formation and hindering blood circulation. For people over 60, whose cardiovascular system already requires greater care, this detail makes all the difference. But the problem doesn't stop there. Many roasted almonds are prepared with cheap vegetable oils, rich in excess omega-6, such as soybean or corn oil. Although omega-6 is essential in small amounts, when consumed in excess relative to omega-3, it promotes silent inflammatory processes. It's like fueling an invisible fire within the body, day after day. The result? More joint pain, a higher risk of hypertension, and a worsening of chronic inflammatory conditions. Another little discussed detail is the addition of salt and artificial seasonings. Excess sodium is a long-standing enemy of health, especially for the elderly, as it increases blood pressure and puts a strain on the kidneys. What seemed like a simple, healthy snack can, over time, contribute to serious problems like kidney failure and even stroke. To illustrate this clearly, consider the case of a 72-year-old man who always swapped his breakfast for a handful of roasted, processed almonds. He believed he was avoiding bread and cookies, but his routine checkups revealed high blood pressure, altered cholesterol, and high levels of inflammation.
What seemed like a protective habit turned out to be a silent trigger for new problems. The good news is there's an alternative. Raw almonds, stored properly and consumed in the right amounts, keep their antioxidants intact and preserve their healthy fats. If you like the crunch, you can soak them for a few hours and then dehydrate them in a low oven without adding any additional oils, preserving their nutritional integrity to the maximum. But even raw almonds, when consumed in excess, can create a dangerous overload for the body. And this is precisely the second mistake, which goes unnoticed by most people and can be directly affecting your liver, your weight, and even your blood sugar. There's a basic principle in nutrition that we often forget. Even what's healthy can become harmful when consumed in excess. Almonds are no different. They're dense in nutrients, but also in calories. Just 30 grams, about 20 to 25 almonds, already contain an average of 170 calories. Doesn't sound like a small amount? Imagine repeating that handful 3 or 4 times a day, believing you are eating clean. Over a week, the caloric impact is equivalent to several extra full meals, quietly stored as body fat. For people over 60, metabolism tends to be naturally slower. Muscle mass decreases, the energy burn rate drops, and the body becomes less efficient at handling excess. The result? Unexpected weight gain and an increase in abdominal fat, precisely the most dangerous type, linked to the risk of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. And herein lies the trap. Because they're seen as healthy, rarely does anyone suspect almonds as the cause of the problem. Excess fiber also weighs on organs that are already more sensitive with age. The liver, responsible for metabolizing fats, can become overloaded, especially in those who already have fatty liver disease or a history of alcohol and medication use. The pancreas, which regulates insulin production, must work harder to handle the energy load, increasing the risk of glycemic imbalance. Even the intestines feel the strain. Excess fiber can cause constipation or gas, compromising well-being. There's also a less discussed detail: nutritional imbalances. Almonds are rich in phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium. In excess, they can alter mineral balance and impact bone and kidney health. People with kidney failure, for example, may see their test results worsen without even realizing that the extra handful of almonds is contributing. Consider a real-life case. A 65-year-old woman decided to protect herself by eating 2 cups of almonds daily. Within just 2 months, she noticed weight gain, constant fatigue, and abdominal pain. In her tests, the doctor found altered glucose levels and signs of liver overload. All of this could have been avoided with the right dose. And when we talk about excess, we're not just talking about weight or liver. The body can also give subtle signs that the mind is being affected. This is because high consumption of certain fats and almonds has a direct impact on brain balance. And this is exactly where we come to the next mistake: the dangerous relationship between almonds and memory. Almonds are often touted as a brain-friendly food, and they do indeed contain nutrients that can promote mental health, such as vitamin E and antioxidants. But the reality is more complex, especially when consumption goes beyond moderation. Almonds also contain a high concentration of omega-6. This type of fat, when consumed in balance with omega-3, provides benefits. The problem arises when consumed in excess. It destabilizes brain chemistry, increasing inflammatory processes that directly affect memory and cognition. In recent years, research has shown that excess omega-6 can stimulate inflammatory substances that interfere with neurotransmitters responsible for communication between neurons. Translated into everyday life, it's as if electrical wires that should transmit clear and fast energy begin to fail due to a constant short circuit. The result appears in the form of frequent forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, and memory lapses that many associate simply with natural aging, but which can, in part, be aggravated by diet. Imagine a 70-year-old man who always fortified his breakfast with an extra handful of almonds, believing it was protecting his brain. Soon after, he began having trouble remembering simple appointments, and even the names of people close to him. His doctor ruled out serious neurological causes, but identified metabolic imbalances and silent inflammation linked to his diet. This example shows how more is better can become an invisible enemy. Another critical point is the interaction with other inflammatory foods. Those who consume excessive amounts of almonds along with diets rich in vegetable oils, fried foods, or processed meats further exacerbate the imbalance of essential fats.
This combination increases brain inflammation, paves the way for premature cognitive decline, and can even accelerate symptoms of diseases like Alzheimer's. Therefore, it's essential to understand that even foods considered healthy have a safe limit. Almonds can, indeed, help protect the mind when consumed in moderation, but excess turns this potential into a silent threat. The line between protection and risk is thin, and often crossed without warning. And when the mind suffers, the body also begins to show clear signs that something is wrong. The first warnings usually appear in digestion, with discomfort that goes unnoticed or is dismissed as normal for age. And this is precisely where the fourth error arises, hidden in the functioning of the intestine. One of the lesser discussed aspects of almonds is their impact on digestion, especially for those over 60. Aging naturally reduces the production of digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid in the stomach, which makes it difficult to properly break down proteins and fats. When someone overindulges in almonds, which are rich in insoluble fiber and dense fats, the digestive system can become overwhelmed. The result? Silent discomforts ranging from constant gas and bloating to episodes of constipation or diarrhea. These symptoms are often dismissed as normal for aging, but the truth is they're directly related to the body's difficulty processing large amounts of this food. And the more the intestine suffers, the greater the risk of imbalances in the intestinal flora, impairing the absorption of nutrients important for immunity, energy, and even bone health. To illustrate, consider the case of a 66-year-old woman who believed she was detoxifying her body by consuming large amounts of almonds every day. She experienced feelings of fullness, cramping, and constant fatigue. After reducing the amount and soaking the almonds before eating, she noticed an immediate improvement in her digestion and energy levels. Small changes made a big difference. Besides the discomfort, there's another critical point. The fiber in almonds, when consumed in excess and without adequate hydration, can ferment in the intestine, causing gas buildup and inflammation of the intestinal wall. This paves the way for malabsorption of essential minerals like iron and calcium, increasing the risk of anemia and bone weakness in the elderly. Slow digestion also interferes with sleep. Eating too many almonds at night can prolong the digestive process, disrupt rest, and increase reflux episodes, a common problem in people over 60. And when sleep is compromised, the entire body feels it: memory, mood, immunity, and even weight control. Therefore, the digestive impact should not be underestimated. The food that should nourish and protect can, when used incorrectly, cause an invisible cascade of consequences that gradually erode health. And if we're talking about uncomfortable problems so far, the next mistake is even more alarming. It involves a natural toxin present in a specific type of almond and can be life-threatening even in small quantities. This is the fifth mistake, and probably the most serious of all. When we talk about almonds, most people imagine the common, sweet ones sold in packages at the supermarket. But there's another, lesser-known type that can pose a real danger to your health: bitter almonds. They contain a substance called amygdalin, which, when metabolized by the body, releases hydrogen cyanide, yes, the same cyanide known for its toxicity. Although the large-scale sale of bitter almonds is banned in many countries, they can still appear in homemade blends, imported products without proper inspection, or even in traditional recipes. The risk is that, even in small quantities, consuming these seeds can cause symptoms such as severe headache, dizziness, nausea, difficulty breathing, and, in extreme cases, severe poisoning. Many seniors, in search of natural alternatives to improve their health, end up buying unreliable products online or receiving recommendations from friends without knowing their origin. This lack of information can turn a simple habit into a direct risk to life. Therefore, knowing the difference between sweet almonds, safe when consumed properly, and bitter almonds is essential. But it doesn't stop there. Even sweet almonds can become dangerous if not stored properly. Contact with moisture, heat, or improper storage can promote the growth of fungi, which produce toxins that are highly harmful to the liver. These toxins, called aflatoxins, are associated with a higher risk of liver cancer, especially in older people, whose bodies no longer eliminate toxins as efficiently as they did decades ago. A striking example is that of a 74-year-old man who used to buy large bags of almonds at farmers' markets and leave them for months in open jars in his kitchen. He believed he was saving money and ensuring his supplies, but without realizing it, he was exposing himself daily to small doses of these toxins. It was only after routine tests revealed liver abnormalities that he discovered the cause. Therefore, in addition to choosing the right type of almond, it's essential to ensure they're always fresh and stored correctly. After all, there's no point avoiding bitter almonds if sweet almonds can also harbor invisible enemies when improperly cared for. And this is precisely what we need to discuss next: what really happens when we store almonds incorrectly and how this detail can turn a seemingly safe food into a silent health risk. Have you ever noticed how many people buy large packages of almonds and leave them open for weeks on the kitchen shelf or in poorly sealed containers? This seemingly innocent habit can lead to one of the most dangerous risks associated with this food: the development of aflatoxins. These substances are produced by fungi that proliferate when almonds come into contact with excess moisture, heat, or light. Invisible to the naked eye, aflatoxins attack silently, but their effects on the body can be devastating. The liver is the first to suffer. Studies show that chronic consumption of these toxins is linked to liver inflammation, fibrosis, and even an increased risk of cancer. For those over 60, a time when metabolism naturally slows and the body's detoxification capacity diminishes, this threat becomes even more serious. The problem is that the signs are often subtle: fatigue, lack of appetite, mild abdominal discomfort. These symptoms are easily ignored or attributed to aging. And it's not just the liver that pays the price. The immune system is also compromised, leaving the body more vulnerable to infections, viruses, and even chronic inflammatory processes. In the elderly, this can mean more hospitalizations, longer recovery times, and, in the long term, a significant decline in quality of life. But how can you avoid this risk? The first step is simple: proper storage. Almonds should be kept in tightly sealed, airtight containers in a cool, dry place away from direct light. The refrigerator is a great ally, especially in hotter or more humid regions. Another tip is to buy in small quantities to avoid storing them for months. Remember, freshness equals safety. A little discussed detail is that even transportation influences this. If you buy from markets or bulk bins, check that the location keeps the nuts protected from moisture and sun exposure. Poorly stored packages on the way to your home can already pose an unseen risk. It's amazing how something as simple as food storage can turn a nutritious item into a potential silent poison. But there's no need to fear. With basic care, almonds can be consumed safely and continue to offer benefits. And this is precisely where the positive side of the story comes in. After all, if we've discussed the mistakes made so far, the question remains: how can we reap the true benefits of almonds without putting our health at risk? This is the key to the next step. After understanding all the hidden risks of consuming almonds incorrectly, it's time to show that they can indeed be great allies for your health, as long as they're consumed wisely. The secret lies in three pillars: quantity, preparation, and storage. First, the quantity. For adults over 60, experts recommend about 20 to 25 grams per day, equivalent to a small handful. This dose provides powerful antioxidants, healthy fats, and essential minerals without overloading the body. Excess, as we've seen, can harm the liver, digestion, and even memory. Therefore, moderation is more effective than the more, the better. The second point is preparation. Raw almonds, preferably organic and unsalted, are ideal. To improve digestion and activate nutrients, it's a good idea to soak them for 8 to 12 hours before eating. This process helps reduce anti-nutrients and makes vitamin and mineral absorption more efficient. If you like the crunchy texture, you can dehydrate them in a low oven without adding oil or salt. It's simple, practical, and much healthier. The third pillar is storage. Fresh almonds should be kept in airtight containers, away from direct light and humid places. The refrigerator is the best option, especially for those who buy in larger quantities or live in hot regions. Avoiding prolonged exposure to heat and humidity drastically reduces the risk of mold and aflatoxins, keeping the food safe and nutritious. But consuming them correctly isn't just about preventing risks, it's also about maximizing benefits. Almonds combined with vitamin C-rich fruits, such as strawberries or oranges, increase antioxidant absorption and help combat cellular aging. On the other hand, mixing them with processed or fried foods reduces their protective effect and can even accelerate inflammation. Choosing the right combination makes all the difference. Practical example: a 67-year-old woman who began soaking her almonds, limited her daily intake, and combined them with fresh fruit noticed improved digestion, increased daily energy, and an overall sense of well-being. This is the true power of food when used consciously. And if you think following these rules is enough, wait until you discover the combinations that can multiply or destroy the effects of almonds, a topic we'll explore next. Did you know that the effect of almonds on the body depends not only on how you consume them but also on what you eat with them? The right combination can enhance their benefits, while poor choices can turn a superfood into a silent risk factor. First positive, vitamin C and antioxidants. Fruits like strawberries, oranges, or kiwis combined with almonds improve antioxidant absorption, strengthening the immune system and protecting cells from premature aging. This combination helps preserve memory, skin, and cardiovascular health. On the other hand, combining almonds with processed foods, fried foods, or fatty meats can have the opposite effect. The inflammation generated by these combinations reduces the antioxidant capacity of almonds, neutralizing their protective potential and increasing the risk of cardiovascular and metabolic problems. Those who consume this type of combination daily may be silently sabotaging months of nutritional care. Also, pay attention to when you consume them. Eating almonds as a snack, between meals and in moderation, ensures constant energy and improves satiety. Consuming them with heavy meals increases digestive burden, causing gas, bloating, and metabolic slowdown, especially in people over 60. Real-life example, a 72-year-old man who used to mix almonds with low-carb cakes and cookies, believing he was being healthy, noticed weight gain and abdominal discomfort. After adjusting his intake and combining them with fresh fruit, his digestion improved, his energy increased, and he felt greater mental clarity. I want to hear from you. Do you usually pair almonds with fruit, or do you prefer sweets and heavy snacks? Tell us how you consume them in the comments and share your experience with the community. And there's another little discussed detail: when almonds are turned into flour, the impact on the body changes completely. This transformation will be the focus of the next section. Almond flour is increasingly used in low-carb and gluten-free recipes, seen as a healthy alternative to cakes, breads, and cookies. But all that glitters is not gold. Transforming almonds into flour significantly alters their nutritional effects on the body, especially for people over 60. When ground, almonds lose some of their intact fiber and antioxidants, and the glycemic index of the final product increases rapidly. This means that, even though they may seem like a healthy option, cakes and breads made with almond flour can raise blood sugar, overload the pancreas, and generate insulin spikes that compromise metabolic balance. For the elderly, who often have greater insulin resistance, this effect is even more critical. Another little discussed point is caloric density. Cake made with almond flour contains more calories per serving than the same amount of whole almonds. The result can be silent weight gain, increased abdominal fat, and liver overload. Consumers often think they're eating better, but they end up accumulating unseen risks. Furthermore, commercial almond flour recipes may contain preservatives, artificial sweeteners, or hydrogenated oil blends, which negate the food's natural protective effects. It's a trap. What appears healthy can actually fuel inflammation, weight gain, and blood pressure changes. The good news is that there are smart ways to use almond flour without harming your health. Homemade preparations, with good quality, freshly ground raw almonds, without adding oils or sugar, preserve many of the nutrients. Furthermore, limiting the amount and balancing it with fresh fruit and protein helps maintain a controlled glycemic index and ensures efficient absorption of antioxidants. And these simple strategies are essential for maintaining vitality, balanced digestion, and daily energy. In the next section, we'll explore practical strategies that transform almonds into risk-free health allies, with simple, applicable tips for everyday life. It's time to put all this knowledge into practice. After understanding the 5 most common mistakes and how they affect the body and mind, the next step is to transform almond consumption into a truly beneficial and safe habit for those over 60. First, the right amount. Keep your daily intake between 20 and 25 grams, equivalent to a small handful. This dose provides antioxidants, healthy fats, and minerals without overloading the liver, pancreas, or intestines. Excessive consumption is what turns a food into a risk. Second, proper preparation. Soak almonds for 8 to 12 hours before eating. This step reduces anti-nutrients, improves digestion, and increases the absorption of vitamins and minerals. If you want crunchiness, use a low oven to dehydrate them, without adding oil or salt. Avoid high-temperature roasting or store-bought toast, which can contain inflammatory oils or excess sodium. Third, safe storage. Use airtight containers, keep away from light and moisture, and store in the refrigerator. Buying in small quantities ensures food is consumed fresh, avoiding mold and toxins like aflatoxins, which are harmful to the liver and immune system. Fourth, smart combinations. Combine almonds with fresh fruits rich in vitamin C, such as strawberries, oranges, or kiwi. This combination boosts antioxidants and strengthens the immune system, memory, and skin. Avoid combining them with fried foods, processed sweets, or foods rich in unhealthy fats, which reduce the protective effects of almonds. Finally, pay attention to your body's signals. If you notice slow digestion, bloating, or discomfort, review the quantity and preparation. Small adjustments make a big difference in your health, mood, and longevity. If you know someone who still believes that the more almonds, the better, share this video right now. This information could save the health of someone you love. With these strategies, almonds cease to be a silent risk and become true allies of vitality, protecting the heart, brain, and digestion. But to top it all off, let's summarize everything in a clear and motivating message on how to use the superfood without fear. We've reached the most important point, understanding that the power of almonds lies in knowledge and awareness. It's not about eliminating this food from your diet, but about using it wisely, respecting limits, preparing it correctly, and combining it appropriately. Throughout the video, we saw 5 mistakes that turn superfoods into silent risks: roasted almonds with bad oils, excess that overloads the body, impact on memory due to fat imbalance, digestive difficulties, and the hidden danger of bitter or poorly stored almonds. The lesson is clear: balance is key. Moderate quantities, proper dressing, safe storage, and correct combinations with other foods make all the difference. A daily handful, well prepared and well combined, protects the heart, brain, digestion, and even bones, strengthening vitality and immunity. Most importantly, these practices offer autonomy and security for those who want to age healthily, energetically, and with quality of life. Consider every detail, avoid excess, prefer raw almonds, combine them with fruit, avoid processed foods with excessive salt or harmful oils, and store them correctly. Small actions, repeated daily, create a cumulative effect that protects body and mind, making every bite an opportunity for health and longevity. By applying these tips, you can transform old and potentially harmful habits into conscious choices. Almonds are no longer just a snack or a recipe ingredient, they become strategic allies for your vitality, without hidden risks. Knowledge is your greatest ally, and with it, you not only prevent problems but also gain real control over your health and well-being. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and join me on this journey of health, vitality, and longevity. Share this video with family and friends so everyone can learn how to use almonds wisely and safely. With this, we conclude our comprehensive analysis of the 5 dangerous mistakes people make when consuming almonds and how to turn them into true allies for senior health.